Okay. Just checking. Just making sure you're all right, Mike. Okay, guys. Good to see everybody today. Thursday, game week. Opportunity to go into Pasadena, play in the Rose Bowl. Certainly one of the meccas of college football, and be able to play in that stadium. It's pretty cool. We're excited about that. And our players have practiced very well. There seems to me to be on the healthier side. And our guys are focused and ready to go and take on this challenge. We've had quite a run the last 4 games in regards to who we've been playing. And this certainly is no different. I think this team right now is playing at the highest level of good, and we know we got our work cut out for us going into LA, and I think playing the 8th or 9th best team in the country based upon the rankings.
What traits stand out to you about playing in the Rose Bowl?
Well, I think history is first and foremost. When you pull in, and I've had the fortune to do it 6 times, 6 home games when we were at UCLA in 2017, went 6-0. In those 6 games, and when you pull in and you just see really the mothership, the stadium, and then you look out there and you see the mountains and you see just the beauty around it. Obviously, the roses on the stadium just makes you really think of college football, think of Keith Jackson, think of all the things, all the great games growing up as a kid on January 1st at 4:30 p.m. and probably remember every game that we all sat and watched on those days. So it was certainly something that I remember going in there the very first time and coaching in that game. It was against Texas A&M, and we came back down 34 points. We were down 44-10 in that game and won the game 45-44. And that was my first experience in the Rose Bowl, and quite a good one.
So you recruited Dorian Thompson-Robinson, right, when you were at UCLA, and here we are 5 years later. He's a fully formed quarterback. How have you seen him progress over that period?
Yeah, he's had incredible growth as a quarterback. Actually recruited him at Michigan first. His mom was a Michigan graduate. Is a Michigan graduate, professor at UNLV now, but she brought him over to Ann Arbor in 2015 and 2016, and we offered him, and think we had him at Michigan. And then when I went over to UCLA, he came over and committed to us at UCLA. And actually my last recruiting visit on that staff was at his home, which was sometime in late December, early January. I can't remember now, leaving his home, and certainly remember that time. And then prior to going to the Rams. But he's grown up in every sense of the way. He was a wide receiver at Bishop Gorman when Tate Martell was the starting quarterback. And then he was the backup quarterback that would go in as soon as they would get a good lead. So he would go in often in that time frame. He was certainly so gifted, so talented as a thrower. He has a huge arm. His running ability is off the chains. He's a very special kid, special player, and I've enjoyed watching his growth.
Was the backup quarterback for Utah that came in and did those runs, is that maybe the first true mobile quarterback you faced other than Bo Nix with his scrambling ability?
I think San Diego State, we would say that going into it, we felt that he was, based on his time at, Burmeister had some mobility to him, and based on his time at Virginia Tech, some of the things he did. But we haven't really had that type quarterback on our schedule this year. It's been mostly, that I can think of right now off the top of my head, we've really gone against pocket passers, or guys, more pro-style passers, I guess you would say, that have been able to move and throw, but also, for the most part, have hung in the pocket. I think that really hasn't changed. And Dorian can hang in the pocket and throw. He's just electric fast.
Because he can extend the play or take off and run, and he has his arm, what are your keys to try to slow him down so you don't give up one and then get burnt by the other?
We're going to have to play great team defense this week. We're going to have to have our best game on defense. We're going to have to limit their opportunities. and recognize that when they have those opportunities, they usually make the most of them. I think I saw yesterday that they are the second most, when you correlate points scored and plays run, they have the least amount of plays run with the most amount of points scored. I think second or third in the country there. They, so you're going to have to swarm tackle. You're going to have to run to the ball. You're going to have to stay fresh. Oregon did a good job of stealing a possession. They brought out an onside kick, and that was up at Oregon. So we know what a challenge this is going to be. We're going to have to play great team defense and make a lot of tackles.
How would you summarize Wendell Moe's recruitment?
Unique. He was somebody that got on the radar very late, and when he got on the radar, it was kind of a perfect storm. We were in need of one more offensive lineman. Coach Nansen and Coach Carroll were at Long Beach Poly, and the opportunity presented itself that there was a under-recruited player that was signed. I think he was going to Morehead State, or I believe yeah. So, but they brought him to my attention. They sent some video over. Then we were able to research him and see why and what happened there and some of the situations that occurred. That was a very unique story. And otherwise, he would have been recruited a lot heavier. And then when we were able to get him here on an official visit, and we were able to talk to him, get to know him, and his guidance counselor came with him, and his brother, and be able to spend some time with him and his family. It was really a no-brainer to get him here, and now he's really embraced the program. He's a fantastic leader. Some of the videos of him, that I got to watch before we signed him, of him talking to his team, of him being a team captain, was pretty awesome, pretty special, and he'll be starting this week again.
Does that go in line in terms of recruiting guys that have come from winning programs, knowing how to lead? And did you see that out of Mo?
Yeah, I think it's that, as well as just strict, great programs, guys that know how to do it, and then B, guys that show those type leadership qualities, and then also have skills, right? He's got really, really good skills, very powerful, fit what we were looking for, but he was exactly what we wanted in regards to his background and his ability to take a program, lead a program, and be the voice of Long Beach Poly his senior year.
What's the status of Jacob County?
We're going to continue to evaluate. He's been, taking some of the reps at practice, so we're hopeful.
How many reps? Is he full go or limited?
Yeah, I think it's probably more in the limited range.
If he couldn't go, who would fill in that spot?
Kevin Green and Anthony Simpson.
What do you like about Kevin Green's game and potential?
Well, I love everything about his potential. He's going to be a very special slot receiver for us in the future. He's got really good knack to get open, which is the first and foremost thing you look for guys that play on the inside. He's really determined to do things right. Very, very coachable player. The more coachable they are, the better they can grow, the faster they can grow, the more willing they will be to do what you ask. He's willing to do everything. So we need to stick him in the weight room, and keep getting him bigger this offseason. And bigger, stronger, faster, all usually work together. But Kevin Green's going to be a very good player for us in the future.
Jim, lots been written and said about running and throwing them out in the mix. In your mind, what's your philosophy on how the run game sets up the pass and how the pass will set up your run?
About our offense, you're saying? We throw when we feel like it's the best time to throw, and we run when we feel like it's the best time to run. Score dictates a lot of things that occur in games. Defense dictates a lot of things that occur in games. I think we have pretty good balance in terms of our run pass. We throw the ball for 330 yards a game. We run the ball for 140 yards a game or something like that, 130 yards a game. We've had a couple bad running days, but for the most part, we're just getting better running the football. I don't really think of it as one sets up the other. I think it's a marriage between run and pass, and you've got to make sure that your run game and your passing game have similar formations, similar personnel groupings, that you can do it with all the same players in the game, that you could take it from both under center and shotgun. And then a lot of times you have to look at what's going on in the game to determine who you're going to be. And most of the time when you have 3 elite wide receivers and top 10 quarterback in the country, you're going to probably throw the ball more than run it.
Being limited in practice and seeing Kevin Green and Anthony step into that role, what have you seen out of them during this week in practice league?
Well, they both had very good weeks of practice. Very good week of practice. I would expect all of them to be ready to go. Any of the 3, or certainly those 2, if we put them in the game. They're going to be guys that are willing to block, be willing to run routes when they're contested. They're able to beat press coverage, which is important. And also, when you're playing in the slot, you're going to have to know how to sit in zone holes. And what I think that both Simp and KG have done is they've had good broad field vision and be able to understand the safeties and where the safeties are located.
You used Jamari and the Wildcat a little bit early in the season, but we haven't seen him much lately. Do you see any role for him down the stretch here?
I don't think we'll get into much Wildcat offense. Not that I'm opposed to it. I think there's a place for it. I think you can see it really across the country, across the leagues. I study it, I look at it, but in the end, our runners are running at a much higher level than they were running a year ago. I think we have a boatload of backs right now that for us, there'd be really no reason to hand it or to direct snap it. And also early in the season, Jaden wasn't running. Now that Jaden's been more willing to use his feet, it's given us more of an opportunity.
Is he an option potentially on maybe punt return with Cowan being limited?
Yes.
Is UCLA the progression under Chip kind of a lesson in patience?
Yeah.
I think it was on October 31st of last year. Their beat writer wrote that he basically should be fired, and then I think they're 11-1 since then. So.
Yeah, I mean, that was his 4th year at that point in time. I mean, I think you look at what Chip did or has done. The 6 years before Chip arrived, UCLA played in 5 bowl games. The year before Chip arrived, we were 6-6, 6-0 at home, 0-6 on the road, and then lost to Kansas State in the bowl game. And then Chip made a determination on how he wanted to run his program. And what he did was he said, I'm going to run it the way I want to run it. I'm going to build it the way I want to build it. And he took a program and was 3-9, then 4-8, then 4-5, then 8-4, and now sitting here at with a fantastic football team. He started freshman his first year. He started Dorian Thompson-Robinson as a freshman. Him and Wilton Spate. Wilton played for me at Michigan and transferred over there. But for the most part, if you look at what he's done, it's exactly what we hope to do. It's the ability to say, we're going to build the program a special way with the players that we want to build it with the guys that are willing to commit to books and ball and take that very serious. And he did it with a quarterback, number one. And then he got, he had Kyle Phillips and Chase Cota and all the great receivers that he had. And he stayed with it, and he stayed the course, and he never deviated. And you could see how that's paying huge dividends for UCLA football.
How do UCLA's edge rushers compare to the Oregon and Washington ones that gave you guys some issues?
Yeah, those would be the guys that I would compare him to. I told that to our offense that, you look at 58 from Washington, you look at 3 and 2 from Oregon, very similar to 15 from UCLA. But they've got really, really good edge rushers. They're a very they know what they're doing over there. They got a really good scheme. Bill McGovern's doing a really nice job. Kenny Norton's doing a great job over there. And they're able to utilize different personnel groups. They're able to slide on defense. They're able to bring their ends and put them inside and give you speed against your guards and centers. Then you're able to deal with the edge rushers that can cause a lot of conflict. So we got to work cut out for us there. But I would say they compare very favorably to the guys that we've played so far this season, and we recognize the importance of having to handle that group. In LA? I think we'll try to get to a game or two, maybe a coach or two, but our focus for this week, where we are in the season and where we are with our commits, will be really, we'll maybe send one or two coaches out. Everyone else should be in the building. Okay, thank you.